Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. With a long 2-week international break ahead of us, I figured I'd very quickly upload a team review from Game Week 8. And seeing as how it was a comically bad game week to say the least, I'm very keen to rip off the bandage, get this review out of the way as soon as possible, and very swiftly move on to Game Week 9, which can't come soon enough. As mentioned, Game Week 8 was nothing short of a disaster, and I wish I was exaggerating, with John Lundstrom away to Watford the only player to return points for me last week. His 5-pointer was the highest in my starting 11, and this includes my captain. Oh dear. The game week started terribly, with both Son and Kane blanking away to Brighton in the early kickoff. Son is a player I just never have any luck with, and he always seems to go cold whenever I bring him in. I can sit here and feel hard done by with these two blanking, but in reality, given the form Spurs have been in, I've only myself to blame for backing two of their players. That's surely the final straw for Harry Kane now, who has simply not lived up to his £11 million price tag. There were also blanks for Pukki and Cantwell at home to Villa, which I feel was slightly more unlucky, both of whom had returned FPL points in all of their previous home games this season. Perhaps the most frustrating blank though was John McGinn, who was in an Aston Villa side that ran rampant and scored 5 goals, yet somehow he wasn't involved in any of them. He did pick up a booking for his efforts though, taking his 2 points down to 1 for me. Great. With no returns from any of my attacking players, it looked as if my defence would be the saving grace in Game Week 8, with all of my defenders keeping clean sheets up until the 80th minute in all of their respective games. However, in typical heartbreaking FPL fashion, Otamendi conceded late against Wolves, my double Liverpool defence also conceded late on, as did Tom Heaton in goal, letting in a pointless consolation to Norwich in the 87th minute. The final nail in the coffin though was my captain Raheem Sterling's 4th blank in 5 game weeks in that logic-defying 2-0 defeat at home to Wolves. With Wolves having played away in Turkey on Thursday night, I really thought this one was a banker for Man City, but all it really showed is how reliant they are on De Bruyne this season. A nightmare result for me. It was a weekend that epitomised just how random and unpredictable the Premier League can be, but I guess that's why we love it. So this abysmal game week returned an incredibly low score of 26 points, perhaps the lowest score I've ever received in FPL. It was 10 points below the average, and has therefore unsurprisingly dropped me a whopping 500,000 places to 1.7 million. A big part of my downfall this season has been putting so much faith in Raheem Sterling, who I've now captained for the last 5 game weeks and only had 1 goal in return. Whilst I have tried to constantly play it safe with my captain picks, so many managers have been a bit braver with their choices and reaped the benefits, and at this point it's about time I get a bit more creative with the captaincy picks moving forward, I think. Let's now take a look at my provisional transfer moves and lineup for Game Week 9, but remember it's still very early into the international break, so I'll be holding on to my 2 free transfers for now in case there's any unexpected injuries. Also, if you enjoyed the content here at FPL TV, be sure to support the channel by dropping a like on the video and getting subscribed if you haven't already. With these 2 free transfers, my provisional moves is Harry Kane finally making way, along with budget option Mason Greenwood, to bring in 2 well-performing mid-priced forwards in Tammy Abraham and Callum Wilson. Ideally, I didn't want to have to sell Harry Kane before Watford at home, as he will now undoubtedly punish me if I do make this move. However, Abraham and Wilson both have excellent fixtures of their own, and with Newcastle and Norwich at home in their respective games, I'm hoping even if Kane does go big, these two can at least match him. They're both players I want for the longer term now, but their Game Week 9 fixtures in particular aren't ones I want to miss, and they provide me with 2 very solid captain options heading into next week. So that's the 2 potential moves I'm looking to make, providing there's no other injury issues through the week. Although I also haven't ruled out making a -4 to my squad, with Leicester players also firmly on the radar. Leicester City now have an excellent run of fixtures coming up, so the likes of Maddison, Vardy, Soyuncu and Pereira all look very solid options for weeks to come. If I do make the transfers of Abraham and Wilson, here's how the team could line up for Game Week 9. But as mentioned, nothing is yet confirmed, and I'll try to hold on to these transfers until the international games are done. This will also provide us more time to get further updates on the fitness of Kevin De Bruyne. For the captaincy in Game Week 9, I'm very keen to transfer in Callum Wilson at home to Norwich and hand the armband straight to him. With Norwich conceding goals for fun at the moment, he does seem a very decent captaincy choice this week, and has yet to blank in any of his home games so far this season, so surely my arch nemesis can't let me down against the Canaries. My other considerations will of course be Abraham at home to Newcastle providing I transfer him in, and despite Tottenham's poor form, Son at home to Watford still seems a very viable option. Man City assets could also still be worth consideration, especially if De Bruyne is past fit, but Palace have looked very solid at home all season so far, conceding just 1 goal there in 4 games, currently the league's best defensive home record. Because there's no clear and obvious captaincy shout for Game Week 9, this does feel a good moment to throw the armband on a more differential choice like Callum Wilson, who is currently just 12.5% owned. So that's my potential team heading into Game Week 9. However, if there are any significant changes to my plans, I'll be sure to upload another team video at some point next week. I'll be back very soon with plenty of content during the break, with the fixture watch most likely coming up next. If you enjoyed the video, as always, please support the channel by getting subscribed to FPL TV. You can also hit the notification bell so you never miss an FPL upload. Enjoy the break if you can, FPL responsibly, and I'll see you all soon.